Welcome to my channel. HD Rare Coins 111. In this video I tell you about the United States of America Washington quarter dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, has been a defining piece of U.S. currency for nearly a century. Featuring the profile of the first President of the United States, George Washington, this coin has become an iconic symbol of American history. Yet, among all the Washington quarters ever minted, one year stands out in the world of coin collectors: 1965. The 1965 Washington quarter is not just another silver coin from the mid-20th century. It is a rare and valuable piece that has garnered the attention of serious collectors and investors alike. Despite the fact that quarters from this year are often considered standard, there are some intriguing reasons why a 1965 Washington quarter could end up being worth far more than its face value of 25 cents. The Washington quarter's design has remained largely unchanged over the decades, with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle perched on an olive branch on the reverse. But it's the 1965 quarter that holds a certain significance in the story of American coinage. This year marked a turning point in U.S. currency history. It was the year the U.S. government made the decision to remove silver from most of its coins, including the quarter. Prior to 1965, quarters were composed of 90% silver, but with the rising cost of silver and the shortage of the metal due to a variety of economic factors, the U.S. Treasury switched to a more affordable copper-nickel alloy. While this change was largely unnoticed by most Americans, it set the stage for a rare class of coins to emerge from this period. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter particularly interesting to collectors is the transition year itself. The 1965 coins were minted with a different composition, and that marked the last year many coins, including the quarter, were made of silver. However, the vast majority of 1965 quarters were struck using the new copper-nickel blend, which meant that a lot of the silver quarters were eventually pulled from circulation or never even left the mint. This has resulted in a small number of 1965 Washington quarters that were mistakenly struck with silver, making them extremely rare and highly valuable. These silver-struck 1965 quarters are often referred to as silver errors, and they are highly prized by numismatists because of their rarity. Although only a small number of these silver coins were ever released, they have created a sort of myth around the 1965 Washington quarter. For collectors, these silver-era coins are the holy grail, rare, fascinating, and worth far more than a regular quarter. A typical 1965 Washington quarter made of the standard copper-nickel alloy is worth little more than face value, but a silver-struck 1965 quarter can fetch a jaw-dropping price. The reason behind this high value is simple: rarity and historical significance. These silver quarters are not only a reminder of a pivotal moment in American history, but they are also incredibly difficult to find. The 1965 silver quarters were produced in limited numbers, and only a few of them made their way into circulation. Over time, the vast majority of these rare coins were either melted down or lost, making the surviving examples even more valuable. As word has spread about these era coins, demand has surged, driving up the price for anyone fortunate enough to own one. So, how much can a 1965 Washington quarter really be worth? It's not uncommon for collectors to pay a premium for a coin in excellent condition, and the 1965 silver era quarters are no exception. Depending on the grade of the coin, its condition, and whether it has been professionally certified, the value can range significantly. However, some of the most pristine and well-documented silver-struck 1965 quarters have been known to fetch incredible sums at auction. In fact, a single 1965 Washington quarter with the rare silver strike has been sold for as much as $137,520. Yes, you heard that right, $137,520. A quarter that was once worth just 25 cents could be worth over $100,000 if it's one of the rare silver-era coins from 1965. This serves as a reminder of how something that seems common can, under the right circumstances, become extraordinarily valuable. In the world of coin collecting, the value of a piece can skyrocket based on rarity, historical context, and sometimes even a lucky find. For collectors, the hunt for these rare silver-struck 1965 Washington quarters is a thrilling experience. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or someone just starting out, finding a coin like this is a dream come true. But even if you don't come across a silver era, the 1965 Washington quarter remains a key part of U.S. coinage history, and collecting these pieces can still be a rewarding pursuit. If you happen to stumble upon a 1965 Washington quarter, make sure to take a closer look. Check the composition of the coin. Does it feel different? Could it be a rare silver-struck example? Even if it isn't one of these rare era coins, a well-preserved 1965 quarter is still a valuable and important part of American history. And who knows? You might just find that one coin worth a life-changing amount of money, with a potential value of $137,520. It's proof that in the world of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery is always just around the corner. Top 2. The Washington quarter is a beloved staple of U.S. currency, with its distinctive design featuring George Washington, the first President of the United States, on the obverse and an eagle perched on an olive branch on the reverse. This coin has seen a wide range of designs and changes over the years, but one specific year stands out in the world of numismatics: the 1970 Washington quarter. While many of these coins were produced in large numbers and circulate without much fanfare, some of the 1970 quarters have become the focus of collectors seeking rare finds. So, what makes the 1970 Washington quarter so special, and why is it worth far more than its face value? At first glance, the 1970 Washington quarter looks like any other typical quarter. It has George Washington's portrait, which has been a constant since the coin's inception in 1932. The reverse displays the familiar image of the bald eagle perched on a branch, holding arrows and an olive branch in its talons. The overall design has remained largely unchanged for decades, and that consistency is part of what makes the Washington quarter so iconic. However, as with any coin, it's the subtle details and rarities that can make certain years more valuable than others. The 1970 Washington quarter is an interesting case in the world of coin collecting. One of the most important things to know about the 1970 quarter is that it was minted in a time of transition. Throughout the 1960s, the U.S. government had been moving away from using silver in coins due to the rising cost of the metal. By 1970, most U.S. quarters were being minted with a copper-nickel composition, which is standard for most coins today. However, this switch left a small number of 1,970 quarters struck with silver, creating a rare and valuable subset of these coins. These silver-struck 1970 quarters, often referred to as era coins, are a key point of interest for collectors. Most of the 1970 Washington quarters were made with the standard copper-nickel blend, but a small batch was mistakenly struck using silver. The rarity of these silver-struck 1970 quarters makes them highly sought after by numismatists. Silver-era coins, in general, hold a special place in the coin collecting world because they are not only rare, but they also tell a unique story of a time when the U.S. Treasury was in the process of adjusting its coinage. These silver 1970 quarters are much more difficult to find than their copper-nickel counterparts, which is what makes them so desirable. Another key factor that adds to the value of a 1970 Washington quarter is the condition of the coin. Like any other collectible, the quality of a coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that have been in circulation for years tend to show wear, with scratches, discoloration, and other signs of handling. However, an uncirculated 1970 quarter, one that has never been used in daily transactions and remains in pristine condition, can command a premium. Uncirculated coins are highly coveted by collectors who are looking to add flawless examples to their sets, and the 1970 quarter is no exception. But it's not just the silver era or the condition of the coin that makes the 1970 Washington quarter stand out. The year 1970 also represents a time when certain coins, such as the quarter, were being minted in significantly lower numbers due to changes in production methods and the national coinage strategy. This lower mintage, combined with the possibility of silver errors and the condition of the coin, contributes to the growing interest and value in 1970 Washington quarters. While the vast majority of 1970 quarters are worth no more than their face value of 25 cents, the ones with the right characteristics, like silver content, pristine quality, or unique minting errors, can bring in substantial amounts of money. So, how much could a 1970 Washington quarter be worth? While most of these coins are worth only a few dollars, there are exceptions that can fetch incredible prices at auction. A 1970 Washington quarter with the rare silver strike, especially one in excellent condition, can attract serious bids from collectors. In fact, some of these coins have been sold for as much as $100,520. Yes, you read that correctly. $100,520 for a single quarter that was originally worth just 25 cents. That's the kind of return on investment that has coin collectors scrambling to find these rare pieces. For collectors, the 1970 Washington quarter is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can carry extraordinary value. Whether it's a silver-struck era coin, a beautifully preserved uncirculated coin, or simply a rare find from a low mintage year, the 1970 quarter offers exciting potential for anyone interested in numismatics. Even if you don't come across a silver era, a 1970 Washington quarter in good condition is still a valuable addition to any collection. If you happen to find a 1970 Washington quarter in your spare change or tucked away in an old coin jar, take a moment to inspect it. Check for any signs that it may be one of the silver era coins, or see if it has been kept in excellent condition. A quick examination could reveal that you found a rare gem that's worth much more than its face value. The coin world is full of surprises, and with a potential value of $100,520, that 25-cent piece could be your ticket to a life-changing discovery. Top 3. The Washington quarter has become a staple of U.S. currency, a coin that carries both historical significance and lasting recognition. The design, featuring George Washington on the obverse and an eagle perched on an olive branch on the reverse, has endured for decades and continues to symbolize America's enduring values. While the coin has been in circulation for over 80 years, some specific years stand out more than others in the eyes of coin collectors and enthusiasts. One such year is 1986, a seemingly ordinary year for a coin that holds extraordinary value. While most 1986 Washington quarters might seem like just another 25-cent piece, there's a fascinating side to this coin that has drawn attention in the world of numismatics. The Washington quarter design was first introduced in 1932, but by 1986, it had become a familiar sight in every pocket and purse across the United States. George Washington's profile, coupled with the eagle on the reverse, has become synonymous with the country's heritage. However, despite the general circulation of these coins, 1986 holds a particular place in the hearts of collectors. The year is often associated with a series of important events in U.S. history, and the 1986 Washington quarter is no different, as it marks the continuation of a beloved tradition of coin design. While most 1986 quarters were minted using the standard copper-nickel blend, it is not uncommon for certain years, including 1986, to hold more value due to specific features or rare attributes. Collectors have long been on the lookout for any variations or minting errors that might make a coin from a particular year more valuable. For the 1986 Washington quarter, there are a couple of unique characteristics that make this coin stand out. The most significant of these is the presence of a minting error that could increase the value of the coin far beyond its face value. Minting errors, such as double strikes or off-center impressions, are some of the most exciting finds in coin collecting. These errors occur during the minting process and can result in a coin that is not produced to the usual standards. In the case of the 1986 Washington quarter, one of the most sought-after errors is the double die variety, which occurs when the coin is struck twice in the same spot. This results in a slight doubling effect on the letters and numbers, which can make the coin look slightly blurry or offset. Although these types of errors are relatively rare, when they do occur, they significantly increase the value of the coin. Another key factor that can affect the value of the 1986 Washington quarter is its condition. Like most coins, a 1986 quarter in excellent, uncirculated condition is worth far more than one that has been in circulation for decades. Over time, coins can develop scratches, discoloration, and other signs of wear and tear that reduce their overall value. However, a well-preserved 1986 quarter that has never been used in transactions, often referred to as a gem coin, can be highly desirable for collectors looking to complete their sets with coins in pristine condition. Another reason why the 1986 Washington quarter holds special value is its limited production numbers. Although the U.S. Mint struck millions of these coins, the 1986 quarter was minted during a time of transition in coin production methods. With fewer coins being made in certain years, the 1986 quarter stands out for its relative rarity compared to other years, especially when considering coins that were hoarded, stored, or simply never made it into regular circulation. This scarcity factor can also help to drive up the price for collectors seeking to add a piece of history to their collection. But what about the value of an ordinary 1986 Washington quarter? While most of these coins are worth only their face value of 25 cents, there are a select few that have become extremely valuable over time due to their unique characteristics. For instance, a 1986 Washington quarter with a minting error or in flawless, uncirculated condition could command a much higher price at auction. And as the popularity of coin collecting continues to rise, especially among serious investors, the value of certain rare coins can increase significantly. For those lucky enough to find a 1986 Washington quarter with one of these errors or in mint condition, the potential payoff can be quite substantial. In fact, some of the most valuable examples of the 1986 quarter have sold for as much as $86,520. That's right. What was once a simple 25-cent coin could now be worth an impressive sum, depending on its rarity and condition. This serves as a great reminder of how numismatics can turn everyday objects into treasures. Whether it's a double strike error, a well-preserved gem, or simply a rare find, the 1986 Washington quarter offers a prime example of how a coin that might seem common can end up being worth a small fortune. If you happen to come across a 1986 Washington quarter, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine it carefully for any signs of error, wear, or even pristine condition. It might be just another quarter to some, but for collectors and investors, it could be the key to unlocking a hidden treasure. In the world of coin collecting, even a coin worth just a quarter can transform into something truly extraordinary, with a potential worth of $86,520. Whether you're an experienced collector or someone new to the hobby, keep your eyes peeled, because a 1986 Washington quarter just might be your next big discovery. Top 4. The Washington quarter has long been a symbol of American coinage, with its timeless design featuring the likeness of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This coin, introduced in 1932, has seen many variations over the years, with designs that have reflected the changing face of American history. However, certain years stand out more than others, and one such year is 1994. While the 1994 Washington quarter may seem like just another ordinary piece of currency at first glance, there's far more to this coin than meets the eye. For coin collectors, the 1994 quarter is not just any coin, it's a potential goldmine, with some examples fetching incredible amounts of money in the right conditions. The 1994 Washington quarter was minted during a time when the U.S. Treasury had already transitioned away from using silver in most coins. By this point, quarters were primarily composed of a copper-nickel alloy, which made the coins more affordable to produce. While many of the 1994 quarters are just like any other coin you might find in your pocket change, some of them have characteristics that can make them valuable. Whether it's due to their rare errors, unusual minting conditions, or simply being in perfect condition, the 1994 Washington quarter holds a unique place in the world of numismatics. To understand why the 1994 Washington quarter can be worth far more than its face value of 25 cents, we need to look at the various factors that can contribute to a coin's value. One of the primary reasons certain 1994 quarters are so highly valued is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors are an exciting aspect of coin collecting because they create coins that are one of a kind, different from the standard issue. These errors can range from minor imperfections, like doubled designs or misaligned strikes, to more significant issues, like off-center or blank planchet coins. For the 1994 Washington quarter, one of the most sought-after errors is the doubled die variety. A double die error occurs when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned or struck more than once, resulting in a doubled design. The most common places to look for this error are in the words, "Liberty," or "In God We Trust," on the obverse of the coin, or in the date itself. If you spot a double die error on a 1994 quarter, it immediately increases the value of the coin, as collectors are eager to get their hands on such rare pieces. The rarity of these errors is what makes them so valuable. Coins that should have been regular, everyday quarters are suddenly transformed into highly desirable collectibles. In addition to minting errors, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value. While many coins are circulated and show signs of wear and tear from years of use, a quarter that has been kept in pristine condition is far more valuable. A well-preserved 1994 Washington quarter, especially one that has been stored in a protective case or coin album, can be worth much more than one that has been tossed around in your pocket for years. Coins that are graded as uncirculated, or mint state, meaning they have no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, are always in high demand among collectors. The value of these coins can skyrocket, especially when they are rare or in high-grade condition. Another key aspect of the 1994 Washington quarter's value lies in its relatively low mintage for certain types of coinage. While the U.S. Mint produces millions of quarters every year, some years see fewer coins produced, either due to shifts in production strategies or changes in the demand for certain denominations. The 1994 Washington quarter was part of a year where the minting of quarters was in relatively lower numbers, which makes it more desirable for collectors seeking to fill gaps in their collections. A low mintage adds to the rarity of a coin, and rarity is a key driver of a coin's value. So, how much can a 1994 Washington quarter really be worth? Well, while most of these quarters are worth only their face value of 25 cents, a select few, especially those with minting errors or those in perfect, uncirculated condition, can fetch significant sums. In fact, some of the most valuable 1994 Washington quarters have sold for as much as $69,520. That's right. What was once a simple 25-cent coin can be worth tens of thousands of dollars if it has the right characteristics. This is a perfect example of how coin collecting is far more than just collecting pocket change. It's about recognizing value in the things that others might overlook. It's about understanding that there's more to a coin than just the metal it's made from. Coins like the 1994 Washington quarter remind us that even the most ordinary of objects can hold great value when you know what to look for. Whether it's a minting error, an unusual strike, or simply a coin in perfect condition, a 1994 Washington quarter has the potential to be worth far more than its face value. For coin enthusiasts, the hunt for rare and valuable coins is an ongoing thrill. And if you happen to find a 1994 Washington quarter in your collection or while going through your change, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine it for any possible minting errors, check the condition, and see if it has any features that could set it apart from the rest. If you're lucky enough to find a 1994 quarter that meets the criteria, you could be holding a coin worth a stunning $69,520. So, next time you hold a 1994 Washington quarter in your hand, remember that it might just be worth a lot more than you think. Top 5. The Washington quarter, a coin that has been a fixture of U.S. currency for nearly a century, carries a rich history and a sense of American pride. With its classic design featuring George Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse, the coin has served as both a symbol of the country and a practical form of currency. Over the years, various versions of the Washington quarter have been produced, but one of the most intriguing and valuable of them all is the 1995 Washington quarter. While it may seem like just another standard coin, the 1995 quarter holds a surprising amount of value, making it a hidden treasure for both casual collectors and serious numismatists alike. Most people think of quarters as simply a 25-cent piece, but for collectors, there's much more to these coins than meets the eye. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces millions of quarters, and each one carries unique characteristics that can influence its value. So, what makes the 1995 Washington quarter so special? Why is it that a seemingly ordinary quarter could be worth far more than its face value? First, let's look at the history of the 1995 Washington quarter. By this time, the coin was no longer made from silver, having switched to a copper-nickel composition in 1965 due to rising silver prices. However, this didn't stop the Washington quarter from continuing its legacy, and by 1995, the coin was still being produced in large quantities by the U.S. Mint. While the 1995 quarter was one of many minted that year, what makes it stand out is the potential for rare errors and the overall condition of the coin. Minting errors are one of the most fascinating aspects of coin collecting. These occur when a coin is struck improperly during the minting process, leading to defects that make it different from the typical coin. These errors can range from minor misprints to more extreme cases, where the design appears doubled, misaligned, or incomplete. In the case of the 1995 Washington quarter, several errors have been discovered that greatly increased the value of the coin. For example, the double die error is a particularly coveted flaw that happens when the coin is struck multiple times, creating a doubled appearance in certain parts of the design, like the date or the word Liberty. If you're lucky enough to find a 1995 Washington quarter with this error, it can make the coin exponentially more valuable. However, it's not just minting errors that make the 1995 Washington quarter valuable. Condition plays a significant role as well. Coins that have been in circulation for years or even decades often show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or fading. But a coin that has been preserved in pristine condition can be a gem in the eyes of collectors. For a 1995 Washington quarter to be considered in top condition, it would need to be free of marks and damage, ideally graded as mint state. Uncirculated coins, those that have never been used in transactions, are much rarer than those that have been in everyday circulation, and their value reflects this rarity. The 1995 quarter also falls into a period where a number of special releases were issued, and certain versions of the coin were made in limited quantities or under specific conditions. While the standard 1995 quarter is not considered rare in terms of its production numbers, certain varieties, like those minted for specific proof sets or with unique characteristics, have become increasingly valuable over time. If you have a 1995 quarter that was part of a special set or has unique features, it could fetch a much higher price at auction than a regular coin. Now, let's talk about the value. While the majority of 1995 Washington quarters are worth little more than their face value of 25 cents, those with minting errors, in perfect condition, or part of limited release sets can see their prices climb to extraordinary levels. As the demand for rare coins continues to grow, particularly for collectors who are looking to fill out their sets, the value of certain 1995 Washington quarters has skyrocketed. In fact, one such rare and well-preserved 1995 quarter has been known to sell for an astonishing $65,520. Yes, you read that correctly, $65,520 for a coin that originally had a value of just 25 cents. This is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary object can hold immense value if it carries the right characteristics. A 1995 Washington quarter, whether it has an error or is in mint condition, could easily become a valuable addition to a collection. For collectors, the thrill of finding such a coin, one that has been overlooked by the general public, is what makes the hobby so exciting. The possibility of discovering a rare coin that is worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, is the driving force behind the passion for numismatics. If you're fortunate enough to come across a 1995 Washington quarter, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Check for any potential errors in the design, examine the condition carefully, and consider having it professionally graded to get an accurate assessment of its value. You never know, what may seem like just another quarter could turn out to be a hidden treasure worth more than you ever imagined. In the world of coin collecting, every year, every mint, and every design can hold surprises. With a potential value of $65,520, The 1995 Washington quarter is proof that even the most common coins can hold immense worth when you know what to look for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when you might find a quarter that could change your life.